UBIX provides a secure, scalable data science and AI studio that enables rapid prototyping, advanced analytics, and advances the use of AI implementations across small and large-scale organizations. UBIX is a powerful analytical tool that deploys infrastructure as code and powerful interfaces that allow you to create AI solutions without having to code. This rapid prototyping deploys analytic applications and AI implementations, enabling organizations to achieve more outcomes today. What you're looking at right now is UBIX. Across the middle are modules for generative AI chat, solution space for application building and reporting, model space for no-code solution building, data space for connecting with legacy and modern data sources, production space for managing data pipelines, cloud space for understanding cloud usage, and even agentic modules. Let's take a look at data space. Data space has over 500 connectors to lots of source systems so that you can access legacy and modern data stores. You have out-of-the-box connectors for data sources like Salesforce, SAP, Epic, Databricks, Snowflake, and support for Fire-based standard APIs for clinical data sharing. Once data is brought into the system, it is automatically profiled so you can understand the shape of the data. Structured and unstructured data is immediately available in the Chat Generative AI module. Enable your users to ask questions of structured data sources like this list of high-risk visits, or ask questions of unstructured text like compliance policies to make sure that everyone has access to the right answers. You then go to model space to solve problems. In model space, you create different workspaces, which are essentially places to solve specific problems like healthcare intelligence. Here on the left-hand tree structure, I go through a process that starts from data access to bring in specific data sources from a variety of different legacy or modern systems. Then, you create solutions. You can do advanced agent building with reinforcement learning. You can create apps or dashboards with Solution App Builder, and set up person-in-the-middle approvals with Agentic space. When this is all done, you automatically create production pipelines without having to have specialized resources to code those pipelines. So let's take a look at an example data flow with the population health solution. To create a solution for a particular problem like readmissions, you bring in a data set and you interact with that data set without having to code. For example, you can check off boxes to select columns to keep, change names and data types, and review the data profile that's available to the right. You then continue adding steps to the data flow. Often the next step is a data processing step for creating new columns, lookup tables, joins, and other steps. In this particular case, we've added a regression model. To train a model, you simply select what you want to predict. In this case, the readmission risk score. You then fill out other drop-downs to specify models to use, or select them all and have UBIX choose the best for you. UBIX builds all models automatically and chooses the best model. In this case, I find that the HCC risk score is important for predicting readmissions. The social determinants of health is also very important. Things like age and the number of conditions I have may be very important for understanding readmission risk. You can use this information downstream as well, because this will add, for example, the prediction to the data set. You can also do advanced techniques like reinforcement learning, in which you build an agent that takes the outputs of the regression model or other models and uses those as inputs to do things like optimize results for a particular goal. In this case, my goal might be to reduce the number of unnecessary readmissions. All of this information can be displayed in dashboards that you build using a no-code interface. Choose layouts and widgets, as well as any of the data sets that you've built in your solutions. In this way, you build dashboards like this one that can be consumed by hundreds of thousands of users that need insights. Note, the dashboards can be used with multiple internal data sets. I can also use external data sets as well and combine it with internal data sets. So for example, these CMS benchmarks help the user to understand things like readmission rates for different conditions, rather than just looking at a general readmission rate. Dashboards can also include information from predictive models. So information consumers can understand, for example, that readmissions are heavily influenced by the number of conditions that a patient has, social determinants of health, age of the patient, etc. So they have a good understanding for how the model works as well. Finally, the results of advanced agents, decisioning agents, driven by reinforcement learning, can be made available as well. For example, if the optimized result for a particular patient is an annual wellness visit that can be recommended here and made available to source systems like EHRs as well. UBIX includes many different types of models. Here's an example of a clustering model that creates groups out of big data. Here we're using a decision tree to understand claims, for example. BMI and smoking leads to larger claims. And this is classification, which is used, for example, predict a category like whether or not somebody submitted a claim. Once I productionize a solution, new data run through those data flows when data is updated in source systems. I've essentially created an application. Full data lineage is available for auditing, so that we can understand the decisions that are being made. Administrators also have access to cloud space to understand usage. UBIX has a secure, cloud-native architecture running in your own dedicated and trusted environment, which is HIPAA and SOC 2 compliant. With UBIX, organizations are able to solve more problems more quickly with an end-to-end application that supports AI and machine learning. UBIX supports the entire innovation process, from data to modeling to agents to data pipelines to better decisions. Ask how we can accelerate your next AI project or initiative.